Hi, world. It is. It's about 8:45 my time on Sunday night. I have an exam in the morning that potentially the teacher said we could postpone till Wednesday or Tuesday. I have the basic science board exam for naturopathic medicine on Tuesday. I had taken it last year and did not pass, and I'm freaking out. I lost a section of notes, since I lost it several days ago, it's like part one of this, I have not been reading any of the notes. And the packet I have to read is about this thick. It's about 3 inches thick. So it's time to move on. I didn't finish reading the notes for the quiz in the morning. It's at 8:30. I literally have read hundreds of pages today. And I don't even know. During my breaks, I've been reading a novel, and I'm probably on page 200. I've been reading it only for like 2 days, maybe 3. I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have read several hundred more pages of notes. I was really hyper when I was recording earlier because chocolate makes me feel hyper. And I make my own chocolate that's raw, and it's my own recipe, which I'm not good at giving recipes or making recipes, but it's just by memory. I guess my teacher would call it the folk recipe, where you just take a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Anyways, wait, is this my notes? I'm looking for yellow paper. Okay, no, it's just a yellow folder. I have every book in the house. I put some back on the shelf, but I'm like, oh my gosh. And a lot of the books had papers and stuff in it. So I was like, oh wow, maybe I should read these. I literally am really scared. I feel like I have several thousand pages I need to read. At least 6 hours of tomorrow is taken up by school stuff, and that's not including travel time. And then there's going to be kids. The kids are eating all the food. And so I was like, gotta go into the cupboards. I usually like to feed them from something for the freezer or the fridge. Gotta go to the cupboards and feed them packaged foods, which I don't like doing. Although most of them hardly have any ingredients. I've got so many books and so many packs of notes that I wanted to read that I feel like I told myself today, it's almost 9, I'm going to bed at 10, maybe 11, which I'd rather not go to bed at 11. I'm telling myself, just go over tonight what you need, what you feel like you need for Tuesday's test. Just review the basics. Who cares? Because tomorrow may not be, for all I know, I could have an inspection, or I might have to, someone's already planning something for my kids. I might have to go to sleep early. Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I'm really I've been told multiple times, what's your problem? Stop freaking out. You need to breathe and chill out and go exercise and all this stuff. And it's 84 in my room. I was exercising earlier on the exercise bike. And I so want to have a more focused view or preparation for this test. Last year, the notes that I'm talking about, the same thing happened. Go through that set of notes one more time before the test, and it would probably take a minimum of a week to go through those notes. It took me 2 to 3 weeks just to go through one pack of them. And so I'm not happy with my studying. It's almost devastating to me. It's oh my gosh. And I've been thinking, because of my novel, one of the families in the novel, was in a minivan, the entire family died, except for one girl, and they had 4 kids. And it's freaking me out. Maybe I shouldn't just be stressed about it, because in real life, people do have tragedies and stuff, and it's important to think about family and everything. But at the same time, I'm if I don't pass this test, I cannot be licensed in my state for the job that I've been spending decades going after. So it's really, it almost feels so devastating. It almost feels my dad's oh, you defeated yourself already. Part of me was I should defeat myself by being like, shut up and study, who cares? But I think he meant more like, you're already so negative that you're already planning on failing, and that you know you're not prepared, so that's not no way to go into a test. So last year I had a lot more confidence. I think I had a lot more like, I know what I need to do. This year I think I have one more section of notes. You know what I think I'm going to do, since it's a quarter till? I think I'm going to speed read through this 2 to 3 inches of notes. I mean, organ of corti, location and structure of the organ of corti is located on the basilar membrane, contains the receptor cells, inner and outer hair cells for auditory stimuli. Like, it will take a miracle for me to be able to remember any of this stuff. I've done this before. A lot of times I have the notes in turn the PowerPoint into a Word document or something. I can just skim it, which I do have one that's like 20 to 30 pages that I've been speed reading it. I'm on probably page 12 right now. I've got stacks of this stuff. I've got paper study guides that my friend sent. Like I said, I haven't touched. The only thing I did with anatomy was watch like 2 videos, one on the knee, one on the leg, and one on the forearm. And they both had errors in them. Like, they both had stuff mixed up, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I always think, something's weird about this, but I kind of let it go, because they were talking too fast, and then I read the comments, of course. I was like, oh, yeah, that's totally backwards. And that's what I'm concerned about some of this speed reading. Before I was starting to study with somebody, we were looking stuff up that was like, something's weird about this. And there was a lot of mistakes in the material, the study material. Like, a lot. Like, one of them, like, every page, there was, like, 3, 4 mistakes that we actually caught. Partly because she was more like, this is not right. They got it backwards. And my mind was just like, wait, let's read that sentence over again. Something's weird about the way it's written. Like, I always get this, like, feeling I'm kind of backwards than normal people. I get this feeling that something's weird, but I'm not. But to say, wait, they totally switched this word, or they should have said not, and they said it is, and so I almost wish my brain thought in a different way, because it's not necessarily compatible with the other students in the medical profession, but I'm tested the same way. I'm not given any testing, like, accommodations for thought process. You only get accommodations for, like, if you're blind or something, you know, or if you know, whatever, you know what I mean. That's me. Like, you don't get it for, like, can you, like, I almost wish, can you just, like, put me in a room and, like, if you're going to give me multiple choice or whatever, can you just, like, make all these posters? If it's anatomy, make a nice big poster, put some blanks there with some arrows, and let me, like, fill in the blanks. Or, like, take little magnets and, like, place them in the area. Let me be, like, moving around and have a lot of colors and have a place where I can write on paper and make notes and stuff. Like, that's how I want to be tested. I've never been tested like that. I've been tested like that in the anatomy lab, and it was just like, okay, move on to the next one. And you're like, okay, move on to the next one. And you're like, ah. I was like, I'm not ready. And then it's like, okay, you have like 3 minutes at the end to go look at any of them that you didn't see. And everyone's like piled around the same one. And they're just like fighting, literally like pushing elbows, trying to see something. Everyone missed certain ones. And you're just like, you can't even see it. And then they're like, call time. And you're writing. They're like, put your pencils down. Your pencil breaks or something. It's on the ground, another pencil. They're like, okay, that sucked. That did not seem very fair. So, I have to go speed read. I'm really scared, and I'm going to check in tomorrow, like one time maybe, or maybe not. I just want to say, for accountability purposes, that I need to do what my elders told me to do. And that's straighten up my attitude, pray about it, get a good night's sleep, eat healthy food. I haven't drank as much water. I've been drinking like tea, herbal teas and stuff. They say, oh, that's not the same as water. Like, been drinking a lot of teas and some water, but just really, I can only do so much. And I used to laugh in the book for the class, for the test I'm taking. It used to say, we don't recommend that you cram the night before the test. And I was like, what an idiot. But I feel like that's what I'm doing, because the notes that I need to read pretty much covers everything that's going to be covered. And I haven't read it. and I went to the class, and I missed several hours. There's 2 different classes I missed, like 8 hours, 4 to 8 hours. I can't remember. They both missed like 8 hours of, and one of them my friend was supposed to give me a recording. Of course, she did not. And I, at this point, I don't have time to listen to 4 hours. I only got one recording, 4 hours of a recording. Because I literally, that would mean me coming home tomorrow evening and having to sit there listening to a recording. I already have another hour or so of recording from a different class. So, I gotta change my attitude. The truth is, I know that I did not prepare the way that I was supposed to prepare based on the time commitment or the time management and being involved with all these activities, which literally consume my day. Elective class, 2 mandatory classes, 3 clinic shifts, which are they're 4 hours. I got home Friday and my daughter's like, "Why were you gone for 6.5 hours?" And I was like, "See, that's exactly, like 4 hours turns into 6.5 hours." I mean, besides the driving there, having to get there 30 to 15 minutes early, and then leaving half an hour late or hour late, and then being stuck in rush hour traffic. It's like, oh my gosh. And I kept losing my recorders. I was just like, oh, I just want to get home. So, I'm telling you the truth. I don't want to think negatively. I am frightened. I am uncomfortable. And all I'm going to do is, I don't even know where the test is. I mean, I have it written down or something and printed off. I don't even know if I can park there. I don't even know if the test starts at 9 or 8. And if it starts at 9, I'll be there at 8. If it starts at 8, I'll be there at like 7. And just so that I know that I can park, or if I have to park somewhere else, take the bus or whatever, So, I should just plan on taking the bus. That's kind of creepy. That's kind of creeps me out, actually. You see a lot of buses broken down. Not that your car can't be broken down. I'll consider it. Maybe I could ride the bus in at like 7. But it would be rush hour on the bus too. I don't know. Usually I drive around the place, go there like twice. Find a parking lot, call them. Like, that's what I did last year. Like, went there like 2 different days, called them twice and make sure I could park there. Asked how many parking spots they had and where the alternative parking was, if those felt like I was just like crazy. Found the directions and the GPS and all that. Got there like so early. Gosh, I just remember all those people going in last year and how everyone passed. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I seriously, I question God on His will for my life. I question, this is a lot. This is a lot of stress, and it's a challenge for me right now. Both, just thinking about the material that I need to know, and how it's been so long since I took the classes, the actual classes that I was tested on, and I passed, and it's like, I'm questioning my career at this point. With less than a year left to go, I'm really questioning my career. I'm really feeling like, last year I was devastated for 3 weeks when I got my test results. I studied so much. I studied 12 hours a day for 5 weeks straight. And I did take days off and go to picnics and stuff as part of my reward for studying. Took regular lunch breaks, went to bed, got like 7-8 hours of sleep every night. I was just like on it, exercising. Even got a special cushion to sit on, and had all the notes printed in my favorite color, and everything was supposed to be perfect. Oh my gosh. I'm just like, I'm gonna have to say a mantra or something, because I'm gonna have to think positive and my dad's just like, just cross off the really absurd answers. And for me, it's just circle the first choice and move on. And that's what I meant to do. Someone was like, oh, there was only one anatomy question when I did it. And you had to get 75 on each section. It's like, if there's only one anatomy question, that means I have to get it right. Right? So I have to know all several hundred parts of the body, including blood vessels and stuff. It's like, oh my gosh. So, that's where I am. I'm pushing stop because I have an exam in less than 12 hours, and I'm like, I still got to read through the notes for another hour. And then we're going to have class. I don't like when they do this. They give you a class, and then you have a test on that material, other material, right after the break. If they even give you a break. Or I don't like when they give you a test and then have you come back. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. I really don't want to take it. But I felt in my heart, like, take it and be done so you're not sitting through that other test saying, oh my gosh, I have to go home and study. Oh my gosh. I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go home and, like, sleep. So, if you pray for me, think happy thoughts. I am going to do the same. And one way or another, despite my doubt and fear and feeling so overwhelmed and consumed, I will continue on this path of naturopathic medicine. It's just right now is extreme stress. I don't even know how to describe. And I'm, like, people keep saying, you're not the only one that's under stress. You're not the, why are you always... It's like, I know there's other people under this type of stress. My friends are under that type of stress. Honor students are under this type of stress. My friends had 7 days a week off for, every day this month. And I'm slightly envious, like, oh my gosh, I wish I had. Even 2 days in a row off, I wish I had, and I haven't. And I'm trying to hope for the best that will actually increase my brain activity. Just being like, okay, I'm not sitting in the house for like 14 days in a row, like absolutely not going to the store or anything, and just like barreling through this stuff, crying and freaking out. Like, it helps me. I feel a lot of tests I've done pretty well on in the past year or two. I've been so busy that I thought there was no way, besides a miracle, that I could even get through the material. I'd go to every class, take recordings, listen to what I could, and just skim through as much as I can, and draw out what I can, and, go draw it out, write it out, look it up. And then a lot of things don't get looked up, which I prefer to look them up. So, but yeah, that's where I am right now. I can't be envious. I can't be mad. I can't let this consume my life. I have to let my life be whole, not just focus on one thing. And I'm pretty much focused on one thing. And I don't know. I have to be done with this because I have an hour, so I'm not going to stay up all night. You know how much I want to stay up all night right now? I can't do it. There's no way that I would function. I wouldn't even be able to drive. So that's all I have for now. I may or may not be back tomorrow. I'm going to tell you this. One more accountability thing. All I can do the morning of is just wake up, be prepared, set out my bag, set out my snacks, set out my clothes the night before, and just get in the car and go. Or the bus or whatever, however I'm going to get there. Just go to the event and just sit down, like people say, take a deep breath, close my eyes, put my hands in my lap, and just even the distractions in the room, don't let it distract. Put an invisible wall up, just telling myself, who cares? And if I have to take a practice test on the playground outside my housing community tomorrow, I'll do it. I will sit in the middle of the floor if God tells me to, or in the middle of the cement, have kids riding, scooters around me, if that's what it takes. In fact, I may make that test up tonight and do that. I don't feel like making up anything. I'll just use the tests that are already printed and just fill the answers in. But that's where I am right now. I've just got to... I almost want to be like, I'm done. A lot of people say I didn't do anything the day before. I went to picnics, went hiking, went out and had fun with her family and friends. I wish I could be like that. I missed the picnic. This is the third picnic. I thought it was 2 picnics I missed this summer. I remember there's another one, local one in my neighborhood that I missed. It's just like, But I don't even see the reward of naturopathic medicine. I see a lot of people being doctors. A lot of people just I had no problem. I just passed every test, did really well, got honors, became a resident, which is highly sought after, competitive in naturopathic school. Not everyone, only a handful of people get it. 2 handfuls of people get residencies. And it's and then I went on, opened my practice, and my husband helped me. And like, that's, I'm just the majority of women at my school. It's like, oh my gosh. And I'm just like, I survived another day despite school, all these other stressors. I just want to smile and say, look at the day the Lord has made, and just move on. That's all I want to say right now.